Well, Bob, how much do you like the Kansas City Royals right now?
I love the Royals. I love that. They're a good team. I mean, their record is terrible, but we saw it when the Mariners played them, man. Bobby Witt Jr. and just, I mean, the talent they've got, that's going to be a team to be dealt with, as they've proven. You know, they gave the Mariners hell during that 4-game series. They just swept the Houston Astros in Houston. Yeah, I love them. They're a bit of a savior right now for the Mariners.
All right, let's get real. What did Texas sweeping the Mariners say to you?
It says that the Mariners are a good team that are fundamentally flawed in a lot of areas, and the Rangers just have a better lineup. They just do. I mean, how else do you look at it 1 through 9, and everybody in that lineup does damage, and you saw them do it to your team. So Mariners have some really good players. They've got some players who are good that are very inconsistent, and you know, maybe we're seeing the gas tank get a little low on the rookies, on Brian Wu and Miller. Had 2 terrible starts out there. Yeah, it's just the Mariners have been this way throughout the season. Now, it's usually been with the offense that they've been inconsistent. Their pitching has carried them. If not for their rotation and their bullpen, we're not even having a discussion about the postseason. But now it feels like, all right, is the air coming out a little bit? Are they starting to hit the wall here at the worst time? So, yeah, they're just not nearly as complete of a team in terms of the lineup. The Rangers have their pitching problems as well. But in terms of the lineup, I mean, I think you see the Dodgers, the Rangers, you saw the difference in lineups between what they're putting out on the field. And obviously it's a much bigger expenditure. It's a much bigger payroll. Dodgers are top 5. Rangers are number 4 in salary. Mariners are 18th. I think that's where you see it.
The Mariners have had their success against the Astros this year. Do you feel it will continue this week?
Man, I'm hoping so. I certainly hope so. I mean, as much as we feel terrible about the Mariners right now, I can't imagine how they're feeling in Houston. I mean, you just got swept on your home field by the Kansas City Royals, who again are much better than their record says they are, but you dropped 2 of 3 to the A's before that. They're not playing well, and I'm not watching Astro games, so I don't know what is happening within those games to say, oh yeah, their bullpen is really stinking or their offense is inconsistent. I don't know what's happening, but they're playing really poorly. And coming in front of this fan base, who seems to have it out for them more than maybe any other fan base in baseball, to let them know they're cheaters and how much they dislike them, and there's going to be 40,000+ in there every night. I think it's a rough go for the Astros. Now the pitching, they've set it up to where they've got their guys going. They've got Verlander, they've got Alvarez, they've got it set up well. But I like the Mariners' chances in this series. I think, are they going to sweep? I wouldn't expect it, but I expect them to win it, and that's kind of a bold statement coming out of that Rangers series.
Who needs to have a big week?
I feel like the guys that we talked about before, when you asked me if I could pick a player to get hot, it was Gino Suarez. He needs to get hot. Now, he had a couple of base knocks, drove in a couple runs yesterday, but you need him. You need Ty France, who had a couple hits, who looked like, okay, maybe he's starting to find it. It can't all be on the shoulders of Julio. It can't all be on the shoulders of Teoscar and JP. You know, I mean, you need the rest of that lineup to fill it out. And Kelnick's a guy who had a tremendous series. I mean, he played in 2 of the 3 games. He pinch hit in 1 of them. He hit 400 in that series. He had 6 walks, 1 strikeout. I'm kind of done with the lefty-righty nonsense. Run out your best 9. Run out your best 9. I don't care if it's a lefty or a righty on the hill. And in Kelnick's case, his numbers are better against lefties this year than they are against righties. Fewer at-bats, certainly. But at this point, I think you got to go, who are my best 9 players? I'm not worried about who's throwing on the hill. Give me your best 9, and let's run with it.
All right, the Mariners still control their destiny. 7 huge games this week. Do you believe? Do you dare to dream, Bob?
I'm still dreaming, man. I mean, because it's there. We've seen it. We've seen it, and it's hard to say when all of this is going on. I mean, I'm not going to try to convince anybody they didn't see what they saw against the Dodgers and what they saw against the Rangers. It was dreadful. No 2 ways around it, and I would assume anybody in the Mariners organization would tell you exactly the same thing. But you saw them battle back. You saw them put up 8 runs. You lost when you scored 8 runs. That's not going to happen very often. So you've seen that they can put up runs. You've seen that they can produce. They can do it. I'm going to choose to believe that they will. I don't think they're winning the division, but I do think they'll find their spot in the wild card.